All right, well, I just got back from a short backpacking trip and I'm excited to publish some backpacking related videos. And I was kind of thinking about which one I should start with, and I thought about just doing kind of a brand introduction of a company that I discovered that I really like and think they offer something very unique, and a lot of people haven't heard of them. I actually discovered them through a different YouTube channel almost 10 years ago, a guy named Craig Rowland. He actually got rid of his YouTube channel. He's not around anymore, but I always really liked him. And he went to New Zealand and discovered these and published something on YouTube about them, and I became sold. So the name of the company is AARN, A-A-R-N. It's the guy's last name or first name, I don't remember, from New Zealand. And he manufactures what he calls body packs. And the reason he calls them body packs and not backpacks is because you have basically a standard backpack on the back, but you have these front bags that he calls balance bags or balance pockets. And the philosophy behind his invention essentially is that it's unhealthy for your body to have all of the weight on the back while backpacking. And in order to stand straight up and down easily, you should have some of the weight in the front. The irony is, when I was in Alaska in 2011, my dad rolled his ankle really bad, and I carried my backpack on my back and his backpack on my front for a couple miles to help my dad out. And I remember feeling heavy. I mean, obviously the bags were heavy, but it was really well balanced. And I remember sort of liking it. And so a couple years after that, when I saw Craig Rowland's video, I just kind of became a believer. And so couple details, and then I'm gonna upload two other videos on the two specific bags that we have. We have this one called the Natural Balance and another one from my wife called the Featherlight Freedom. So, but just a little bit more in general. So basically the backpack is like almost any other backpack. In fact, I went backpacking this past weekend, or the past 2 days, without these bags because I only brought like 8 pounds with me because it was warm where I was going and I didn't bring a lot of gear, and so I just didn't even need the capacity. But that was literally the first time I've ever done it. I've had this bag since 2017. I've probably done 150, 200 miles with it, maybe 50 nights. I bought it because I was planning another trip to Alaska. I ended up not going to Alaska, and so I regret buying this particular bag because its capacity is so much more than I need, but those are things you can't control. Anyway, back to the brand. So these bags, basically this bag hooks to this sternum strap and this bag hooks to this sternum strap, and then they connect at the bottom, but you can also disconnect all of this, and these can spread, and that's nice figure here. That's particularly useful if you're like scrambling or climbing and you need this to get out of your way. And basically they connect via these simple toggles that are relatively quickly undone. It's a little fidgety, but I can do one really quick. And then they sit in these little pockets. I'll show you that more later with an additional snap. Now, these bags are not just hanging off your shoulders. They have these metal rods that run down into this, which runs down into your hip belt. And so the weight in the bags is going down into your hip belt. And so the idea is that you can get a 50-50 distribution on your gear, which I've done several times. I've weighed them and gotten literally 50-50 by putting high density heavy items like food and water, maybe your phone, other things like that, your fuel, in the front, and then putting lighter weight, low density items like sleeping bags and clothing and your tent probably and hammock in the back. And so that you have this obvious weight distribution benefit. And I can tell you, not scientifically at all, but it is significant. It is really significant, especially when you're going uphill or downhill, which where I live is always. You have so much better balance. It's incredible. But even if there weren't a weight benefit, there is a huge organizational and accessibility benefit. So up here, I'll have the day's snacks, I'll have water, I'll have map and compass, I'll have my phone, I'll have maybe pen and paper while I'm taking notes. We'll have water purification. Occasionally I'll bring binoculars. I'll have binoculars. You have your pocket knife, your flashlight. So you have just super easy access to tons of things. And so the days of, trying to get your water bottle out or asking a buddy to get a water bottle, they are right here. And once you get used to that, once you get used to having access to like half of your gear, the half you need. I mean, you don't need access to your hammock and your tent and sleeping bag in the middle of a hike. Once you get used to having access to all of that here, it's extremely hard to give it up. Yesterday and today when I was hiking, every time I wanted to drink of water, I had to stop and pull over and undo the bag. And I just had forgotten how convenient it was to have it all here. So far as I know, it's the only company in the world who's manufacturing bags like this. So far as I know, he has a patent on it, but I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But it is a serious game changer. And I'm going to go over some of the details of this bag in another video, the details of my wife's bag, the weights, the sizes, some of the details that you might be interested in. But this is really just about basically the premise that these exist and they're an option. I will say, the website here in the United States sucks. It's poorly laid out. It's inconsistent in the way that it displays and compares information. I don't think the website does a very good job helping you understand what makes, the Featherlight Freedom different than the Natural Balance and the Effortless Rhythm and all these different bags that they have. So it pains me to say that because I really like the company and I've purchased several bags from them, but it's the truth. What I will say is the people behind the US distribution of this product, Rich and Jean Murphy, they are really awesome people. I emailed with them a couple times before buying my bag. I emailed with them a couple times after buying my wife's bag. I'll tell you more about that in the video of her bag, but they're awesome people. And so maybe building a website's not their thing. And so in a modern day, like nowadays, if you don't have a good website, it really suffers your product. But all I can say is the product is awesome. The website's not so great. The people behind it here in the US, Rich and Jean, awesome. And I have only emailed with the owner and inventor or the founder in New Zealand, but he was also really cool and helpful. So yeah, see if I can show you one last thing. No, maybe not. So yeah, the name of the company right there, AARN. You can look them up. I think they changed their website to like lightweight hiking, but just type in AARN bodypacks or AARN backpacks and you'll find them. I could probably leave you a link in the description below, but I haven't been doing much of that lately. Anyway, I'm gonna do a couple other videos, but maybe this will get sorry, there's a bug. The research juices going, something for you to think about. They really aren't more expensive than the average premium pack. They really aren't heavier, but they are very feature rich and they have this amazing, unique advantage over the competition. Last thing I'll say is I started with an REI backpack, like kind of really standard one. Then I bought an REI Flash backpacking backpack. It was like a lightweight one. Then I bought an REI Mars pack, a big 80 liter. Then I bought an Osprey Aether. And then I bought this. So this is my 5th backpacking backpack. It's the 3rd from my wife. So we have some experience with other packs, including Osprey, which is considered one of the premium bags. And I will say that even if this pack didn't have these and it was just a backpack, the design and the quality and the workmanship is as high, if not, I'm convinced, higher than those bags. So it's not like these guys got a corner on the market and no one else can make it, and so they're making junk and they're winning. It's really high quality stuff. And then the last thing I wanted to say is the one area I would say where they begin to fall behind, if you will, is like if you're into Z-Packs and Gossamer gear and Mountain Laurel designs and you're wanting a pack that weighs like 20 ounces, then these guys aren't for you, because I think the body of this weighs like 3.4 pounds and these two weigh like 1.1. So I'm in at like 4.3 pounds or 4.4 pounds. And I know that for those who are buying Gossamer gear and Z-Pack stuff, I know that that just sounds way too heavy, and I get it. If you're going for like 10 pounds for a backpacking trip and your bag weighs 45% of that, then you've already lost. So obviously that's kind of a niche market. The other thing I would say is going ultralight makes sense to a point, but I would rather carry 10 pounds and 10 pounds and have 20 pounds than have 15 pounds in the back. Like, my point is, this system allows you to carry a lot more weight comfortably, whereas a standard backpack, it's not as easy to carry a lot of weight, and so it makes sense to really push those boundaries. So in that sense, having a pack like this, which might in the end be a little bit heavier, it just redistributes the weight in a way that makes carrying that extra load way more palatable. So, all right, I'm gonna publish a couple more videos, more in detail, showing you up front and personal and close, but I just wanted to first do like an overall philosophical, conceptual video to show how these things work, how they're different than every other backpack that I'm aware of, and pique your interest. So I hope you like that. If not, let me know by giving me a thumbs down, and go check out Craig Rowland's videos because you won't find them. Take care.